Hola Español 2, hoy vamos a charlar sobre la gramática de la semana y las tareas, okay? So, hoy we're going to talk about the two grammatical concepts that we'll cover this week in the tarea, as well as a couple of the examples in las tareas y otras cosas. So, this week we are going to take a look at the passive voice. One of the concepts that we talk about this week is actually repaso rápido, so it should be a quick review. We did talk about this just a little bit this year, but it is worth taking a look at because although the textbook touches upon it in this section, it actually is the more common of the two passive voices in Espanol. So let's take a look. Amigos, estamos en página 360 and we're going to talk about the passive voice. So, estamos aquí. Say plus third person singular or third person plural of the present indicative is used when the performer of an action is indefinite or unknown. In Espanol, we would just say se habla español, but in English, that would translate to one of three ways. One speaks Spanish, they speak Spanish, people speak Spanish, Spanish is spoken here. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have this finite exact translation. It's a little bit, it has a couple variations in the translation. So if you were to translate this as one, people, or they, you would be just fine. Otra cosa aquí, the subject may precede or follow the verb. If the subject is singular, so is the verb. If the subject is plural, the verb is plural. I have follow underlined for you, amigos, because más or menos, more or less, it's more common to see the subject follow the verb than it is to have it precede the verb. Will it exist ever in life where you shall see this precede the verb in the se pasiva? Sure. Maybe 1 out of 100 times, but it can happen. Okay, so amigos, your optional practice is going to be on página 360, actividad 24, and I'm going to walk through this with you. If you choose to do it, awesome. If not, no big deal. So, por favor, let's take a look at our optional practice here, okay? So, in the libro, they have the infinitive and then also the subject. So, we have hablar and then español y guaraní. So, we would say, se hablan español y guaraní. I'm using first, your choices are third person. That's it. It's either third singular or third plural. That's it. So here we're going to use third person plural because we have español y guaraní. So our frase is going to say, se hablan español y guaraní. Número 2, jugar al voleibol a menudo. So a menudo is an expression that means once in a while, often. So we would say se juega voleibol a menudo. Why are we using third singular here? Because we're saying that they play, one plays, people play volleyball. That's one sport, one subject. Although we're modifying that subject by saying once in a while, doesn't matter. It's one sport. We have número 3, we have toca, or actually tocar, and then el arpa y la guitarra. So we'll say el arpa y la guitarra, that's a plural subject because there are two instruments that are being played here. So we would say, se tocan el arpa y la guitarra. Número 4, celebrar los 15 años. I've underlined, that's our subject here. Con una fiesta. So se celebran los 15 años con una fiesta. We're using third plural here, se celebra, because it's los 15 años, plural. Número 5, almorzar al mediodía. Se almuerza al mediodía. Número 6, comer sopa paraguaya. Se come sopa paraguaya. Okay? Amigos, for this tarea that I would like from you, we've already talked about this. You've seen this. This is a repaso rápido. So I would like you to do either a Google search or a creation of three announcements, ads, warnings that use se pasiva. If you're doing an internet search, if you type in se pasiva signs, it's going to generate a couple Google images for you, okay? Make sure they're appropriate. They should be pretty much appropriate. These are seen in the general public. Nothing too risque, por favor. But to give you the official Tarea directions aquí, so the passive se is commonly used in signs and warnings. You'll create or Google search or find 3 of these using se. If you are creating your own, feel free to add some icons or some illustrations. If you're pulling them off of el internet, está bien. So if you're creating your own, here's some that might get you started. You could use something such as no se permite entrar. One is not permitted to enter. Se habla español, which I think you've probably seen. And then se prohíbe el uso de teléfonos celulares. ¿Sí? ¿Está bien? Have fun, be creative, but please keep it appropriate. Now, the next concept that we're going to chat about this week and for this lesson is, give me 1 second, sorry guys. We are going to talk about the passive voice. This is good to know. I'm going to just zoom in here towards the bottom, which hopefully you can see that se plus third person singular form of the verb is most commonly used in Espanol. That's why I have all the faith in the world that if you do a search on the internet for images with se as the Spanish signs, you will come up with some good things there. But we have to learn about the passive voice. It's good to know. So todas las cosas aquí están en página 361, okay? And we're just going to talk through these rápidamente. So, por favor, we know that in the passive voice, this is not different from Latin. This is not different from English. So in most sentences that are in the active voice, the subject of the sentence performs the action. So, por ejemplo, we have Messi marcó take 2, lo siento. Messi marcó el gol. Messi scored the goal. ¿Está bien? Sorry, let me zoom out. We're going to talk about the passive voice. So in passive voice, the subject is not the doer of an action, but instead it receives an action. So in Espanol, we have a form or a flow for this, a way to write it. So for the form, you need ser and the past participle and por. So let's just zoom in and talk about these components together. So ser is either going to be in the present indicative, soy, eres, somos, soy, son. Again, your book's not going to cover vosotros. Or if you see a verb in the pretérito, you would use the pretérito of ser. So we have fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, and fueron. And then you're going to have your past participle. So your past participle in this case is going to be treated as an adjective, and it is going to agree in number and gender with the subject. And then we have por. Por is going to tell us by whom the action is performed. So if we take a look at our example sentence from el libro, Messi marcó el gol, that's active voice. So let's put it in passive voice. How do we do that? Well, basically, we're going to start with this component. So el gol, okay? And since it's marcó in our first sentence, in the active voice, we're going to choose one of the preterite forms of ser. So third singular would be fue. El gol fue, we're using, because the original one had marcó, that now will become our past participle. So our past participle will be marcado, and then we need to say by whom, por Messi. So el gol fue marcado por Messi, okay? Let's take a look at an example. I have this attached as a PDF file. You do not have to do this. This would be the optional Tarea. Your actual Tarea is going to come from the workbook. It's actually workbook page 151. Again, that shall be attached on a PDF file for your convenience. This PDF file, sorry, Bryn did a little dibujo of like reindeer and Santa, Christmas in May, no sé. And so I hope that you can see this. So amigos, what we are going to do here, if we take a look at our active sentence for número 1, los equipos anunciaron el partido. Anunciaron is going to be third person plural in the preterite, so we know we're going to roll with fue. And now our el partido is going to become the subject. So it would roll like this. El partido fue, because our subject is third singular. Anunciado, okay, Why? Because el partido is masculine and I'm sorry, it's not masculine and feminine, it's masculine singular. And then por los equipos. Número 2, los aficionados compraron los boletos. We're going to now have los boletos become the subject. So los boletos, we're going to use third plural here, and we're using the preterite because it's compraron. So los boletos fueron comprados. We're using comprados because, again, we want to agree with boletos, the subject, which is masculine plural. Los boletos fueron comprados por los aficionados. Número 3, okay, active voice, el jugador nuevo marcó el primer gol. So when we write this in the passive voice, we have el primer gol. So we're switching, boom, el primer gol fue, because it's third singular to agree with el primer gol. Marcado, because again, it's a masculine singular, por el jugador. These don't give you a lot of options for inflection. Your librito, your workbook pages do a better job of this, I promise. Walking through one more. El partido fue explicado por los comentaristas. Número 5. Los artículos acerca del partido fueron escritos por los periodistas. Yay, we have an inflection in the past participle. Bravo! It only took us, 5 examples to get here? Woo, yay! So aquí, it's escritos because we're talking about los artículos. I take it back, you guys, I'm really tired. I just saw that happened in número 2 as well. We're trying to record when the kids are asleep because y'all don't need that chaos again. Sorry about that. So, número 6, el aficionado compró el periódico. So to rewrite it, el periódico fue comprado por el aficionado. Okay, that's pretty much it. Real quick on your tarea. It's going to be workbook, página 151. I tried to mark for you the people by take 3. I tried to mark por quién hizo la acción. Okay, so aquí for number 1, it's Lucia Puerta. Número 2, the painting was painted by Paco. Número 3, the cake was made by Pastelería Abuelita. For número 4, the poems were written by Octavio Paz. For número 5, the goal was scored by the soccer player El Futbolista. And número 6, las pelotas, they were signed by Pele. Amigos, que tengas buen día. I hope to see you in our optional meeting. You guys are Wednesday. And I hope you have a fabulous 5 de Mayo. Si necesitas ayuda, you are welcome to mándame un text, mándame un email y otras cosas fabulosas. I miss you. I hope you're doing fabulosos y adios bonitos.